Welcome back to the CoachIQ podcast. I am your host, Brandon Evans, a fellow training business and facility owner. Today we have Marko Zelic here from Zero Doubt Basketball out of Aurora, Colorado. Marko has a really unique story, so we're really excited to talk to him about it. He's originally from Serbia, played 4 years of college basketball here in the U.S., and has now built a successful training business that's now trusted by over 600 Colorado families. Marko, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Absolutely. We're excited to get into this. So before we get into the business side of things, I want to know all about that, but I have to ask you, your bio says you were teammates with somebody that I think a lot of people might know, Nikola Jokic, back in Serbia. Yeah. Tell me about that. Do you guys stay in touch still? What was that like?
Yeah, so I actually, when I first started playing basketball, I was 9 years old, and in Serbia we take it seriously immediately. There's no, you can see by the product of the players we have. But we, from age 9 to 13, we were actually opponents. I don't remember that part well because he was still, he was just a little chunky guy going around the court. But man, I know he was a hooper. I looked at some old videos they posted on, they had a TV show about him or something in Serbia, and I was like, man, I remember now, and he was always this good, which is crazy. But then at age 15, he came to my club, which was one of the best clubs in Serbia. It was top 5 clubs at that time, and I was getting some playing time. I was good. I had a good, good minutes. And then all of a sudden, this 6'10" guy comes practice one time, and nobody knows him. Like, who is this guy? He's like, I'm Nikola. I said, okay, nice to meet you. We're like all saying hi to him and stuff like that. We thought he cannot play because I forgot it was a 2-year gap where I didn't play against him, and he grew a lot. Yeah. Anyway, he comes and he drops. First time we on our first game, official game, because it's not, the club is different in Serbia than in the United States. You're actually getting paid at age 15. We're already getting paid by the club. Like, you're not paying the club yet. So if you have potential and they see something in you, you're gonna get compensated at young age. Nothing crazy, but you're getting something. And he actually took my spot. I was still getting some minutes. But unfortunately, I had to guard him in practice, and it was traumatizing. He's just too good. So anyway, first game he drops 30, 20, and 11. So then I was like, okay, I gotta find another club now. So, but he stayed for 3 months. I had a chance to talk to him in the beginning of last year. Last time we talked before the game for a few minutes. He's so busy, man. It's hard to keep up with NBA schedule, but anytime in the game, and if I had a chance to say hi, we say hi.
Yeah. That's very cool. I had to ask about that just to see, what that whole experience was like, and it's unfortunately for you that I took your spot.
I'm glad. You usually get mad if somebody takes your spot on the team. You're like, man, that's not fair. But if Jokic takes your spot, you're like, that's great. He's one of the best players ever. So,
yeah, if anybody was going to take your spot, he's a good one to do it.
Yeah, so it was good. He's a good guy. If we connect, if he had a chance to talk here, we always chat for a few minutes, and then he's like gone because they're just just nonstop. So anyway, good. I'm glad he was part of my basketball journey for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. Not a lot of people can say that, but I do want to eventually in this podcast get into some stuff you mentioned about how they might do it differently in Serbia, because it's a trend, in the basketball development space, America versus the European development. So, but first, I want to talk about. So you came from the U.S. or you came to the U.S. From Serbia to pursue basketball. Walk me through that journey. What brought you here? How did you end up in Colorado, of all places, running a training business?
Yeah, so back when I was senior, they had showcase where D1 coaches came from the United States to watch us play. And I was kind of playing the American style. Like, I was running. I'm 6'8". I was nothing crazy, but I was basically like a 4 big back in 2014 when that happened. And it was I played good. I had a good game. We had played 2 games, and coaches just watch, they take notes, and whatever. So I had a good game. I had a few D1 offers, but unfortunately I didn't pass my English exam because my English wasn't great back then. I'm not saying it's great now, but it's way better than it was. So I didn't pass the exam. I couldn't go. It was like a few D1 schools, not to mention the names now, but ended up going to JUCO. I had good 2 seasons in JUCO, and then I went D2 in Oklahoma, where I met my wife. She was also a player there. She can hoop. She's scary. Really nice girl, but she can hoop for sure. And so
we have my website is better than you.
Dude, seriously. Legit. So we met there, and then after the school was done, after we graduated, I was like, what are we gonna do now? I thought we were gonna go play professionally, both of us. That was kind of back in my head. But then she said, come to Colorado, just kind of, come and visit. And I just fell in love. It's beautiful here. It's definitely my style. So I stayed here, started working at, I was at Sprouts Farmers Market. I don't know if you guys have that, but I was working at Sprouts as a dairy clerk, and then as a personal trainer, and then Dick's Sporting Goods. I was like, man, why wouldn't I just start something on my own? Because I was doing some basketball stuff as well, but for the rec center. So that was kind of the reason why I came to Colorado and at first place, and now this is home.
Yeah, so when you decided to not play or not try to play pro, like what did that feel like? Was it hard to let go of like that dream of, I'm going to go play pro basketball?
Yeah, I was still having it in my head. Like I still thought, I came to her house. I was staying I was staying with her parents. I was in the basement. Dude, basement sleeping is the best. Dark, cold. I was sleeping like a baby. Oh, but one of the days, her dad, she came and she's like, hey, my dad is asking when you're gonna get a job. And I said, a job? I'm not gonna get a job. Like I'm about to play. But that was just back in my head. Like I didn't tell her like, hey, we're gonna go play. She's like, you gotta find a job. So that's kind of like that. Just kind of stuck me. Like I have to get a job. So that's when I started like grocery stuff and basketball stuff and personal training stuff, and then kind of slowly developed because I had some kids at the rec center. But it was, man, I used to be actually have 30 kids in the gym, and they were paying me like $12 an hour. And my friend is like, are you sure you want that for your life? And I'm like, yeah, probably not, man. Like that doesn't sound about right. So that's when I said goodbye to them and started my own thing.
Is that, so correct me if I'm wrong, but in 2020 you traveled to Michigan to train with Micah Lancaster?
Yeah, spent a week with Micah.
Is that like at that moment where you're like, okay, I need to, learn how to do this? Like, what made you do that? What did you learn? Because I know we have a handful of coaches on CoachIQ that use our platform that have also done that as well. So, yeah, what made you want to do that?
Yeah, it was just the proof, man. He was the dude. Like, you can see all the stuff he's doing. He's good at that space. So, I went there, spent a week with him. Usually there's a bunch of trainers at the same time, but that week I was lucky because who books? Man, I was booking a trip to Michigan in January. Like, I know my USA geography and places. Like, it was awful. It was so snowy and stuff, but I was the only one, so I can get like one-on-one experience.
Nice.
So it was great, man. It was great. I started with Micah. I stayed kind of with them for like 2-3 years, and then I just learned enough that I didn't have to be a part of the Impossible anymore. And with my European experience playing in college, I said I had enough, So it was great. I still use a lot of his stuff. Great guy.
Right. So naturally that leads me into how you built Zero Doubt Basketball. So you've got a pretty comprehensive model going on. You got in-person training, online coaching, weekly homework, mindset lessons, film study. I want to kind of walk through how all that works because a lot of trainers just do their in-person sessions, and you've got this whole system, which is something that we really believe in, and a core principle of CoachIQ, which is delivering a full-fledged experience in and out of the gym. Just instead of just saying, you have to pay me $25 for 4 sessions or $25 a session. So how did you develop that? How do families respond to it, and what is the feedback you get?
Yeah, so you know, business was okay when I first started. It was just paper session. You know how it is, like paper session. You start in a park, like, hey, stuff. You get $30. You're like, man, I'm so rich right now. Like, I can do anything. And it was, I thought it was like that was top of the world. Like, I was starting to make some money on my own. When you make your own money, it's different. Like, you did it. Like, you did it. So, you know, I started doing that, and it was okay, nothing crazy. And then luckily, I was able to meet a mentor, business mentor, who helped me tremendously. You know, he's literally my private mentor. We talk. He's my friend now, and really dear to me. And he was saying like, hey man, like first thing we want to change is like commitment. How long are they going to commit for? And like they said, he said 3 months. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. 3 months? Who's going to pay me for 3 months? Are you out of your mind? And then he said, no, 3 months. Sorry, the lighting is changing. The sun is coming out. But you know, he said that you need a bigger commitment. So I started with 3 months. I was offering monthly stuff. Then I went to 3 months. Then I said, okay, man, this is like, if I'm gonna build, because I really love business. Like I like business. Like I love basketball, but I really like business. So yeah, it's fun, man. You know how it is. You build something on your own. You try to get into. It's so deep, like psychology of the customer. What are the pain points? Like how can I design the landing page? Dude, I'm like a nerd. Like I go into super detail, so I'm glad. You know, so I went through all of that. I was like, dude, we gotta make this more valuable. It's not just pay per hour. Like what kind of transformation are the kids getting? And then I found that pain point. I think it works really well for me right now. I don't see many trainers do that at this moment, where it says like usually if I go to any trainer's website, the #1 training in the Orange County.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is like also #1 training in Orange County. And my page starts, is your athlete struggling to score and play with confidence? It's pretty specific. And if I'm a parent, I'm like, dude, that's my kid. And so I've been getting a ton of leads lately, and you know, for cheap, because I'm also big on Facebook ads, so we can get into that. But anyway, I had to provide more value. So it's really like a holistic approach. We watch film study on Sunday. We're literally like me and you right now. I break it down for them. So there's like, I have 60-something kids in my program. We hop on a call and I'm like, let's break it down. So I ask them a question, like, why did he cut here? Or I stopped the film. Like, what is he about to do right now? Of course, watching film, it's really important. You have to watch some kind of film. And then mindset lesson. Every week I provide mindset lesson that, you know, kids have to practice daily for a few minutes. And then we have a skill homework as well. So it's, when parents see that, they're like, okay, this guy, there's something that's happening when my kid is not with him. So we're developing the good habits. So that, yeah, man, sorry, I kind of went long there, but I could talk about it 3 hours.
Great information. I mean, what does your membership structure look like? Is it, you said monthly, 3 month, what does it look like now? So you mentioned that when you first started, you did 3 month and everything. Is that what it looks like now?
No, it's different right now. Even if you're like, if you go on the website, it's going to say, you know, apply to get your free session, qualify now. Like I am to a point where parents have to go through a little bit of struggle to like actually book a call with me, because if you know, it's easy, man. Anybody can go on a website and like book a trial session, come to my program. You can buy a month with me, but like, what if I don't like you? What if you don't like me as a trainer? So they have to go to like 10 to 12 questions, and then in the end, I read it. My wife now is taking care of that currently at this moment. We'll read over the answers, and then we'll send them a private Zoom link call if they're a good fit. If they're not, hey, do you want to be a part of our newsletter list? Something like that. But so pretty specific, and it's either 6 or 12 months right now. So I don't sell anything less than 6 months.
Okay, and I'm asking this because I just switched my gym because I have 3, 6, and 12 month commitments. I used to have families pay up front for that, but I'm going to experiment this year and have them sign a contract and everything, and then allow them to pay monthly. If it's tough for a lot of people to just say, hey, here's $2,000. So do you allow them to pay monthly, or is it up front? How do you do that?
So on the call, also, whoever is watching this, my passion is also, that's maybe some something down the line, but I love consulting. Like I love talking to coaches, and I want just FYI, because I'm not saying just like, I actually have love for consulting part of the business because I learned so much from my mentor. But basically, I tell them, I show them the price on the call at the end of the call. Really important thing is that everybody should have a sales call. That's just my opinion. It takes longer. Like literally, I mean, when I'm done, I'm having a call with a parent. It's gonna take 30 to 40 minutes. Like that's 30, 40 minutes of my time. I have a wife, I have a baby, I have other things to do. But then they can really meet me and be like, okay, this guy's worth it. By the time they come for a free session, they already know like this guy's legit. He's not some scammer. So at the end, I tell them, hey, 6 or 12 months. What I advise trainers to do is give parents something. I call it next day discount. So on the call, like if you're a parent right now, I'll say, hey Brandon, I'm excited for you to bring your son, whatever, Friday, tomorrow. Remember, next day we have that next day discount where you can save $100 of 6 months and $200 of 12 months. But that expires the next day at midnight. So if you guys know it's a good fit, why not use that discount? And if it's not, no pressure. Like I'm fine. So they have that next day discount. We're like, oh, let's save some money. This guy's legit. And then when they pay at the checkout, they have an option to use Klarna or Affirm, which can break down the payments. The big chunk into payments. I still get paid up front, and they can break down into payments. So I'm still, man. I struggle with it too because I love people. And it's hard to and some people have money. The problem that we have, the trainers, like we think that people are like broke. Like people don't have money. But a lot of people do have money. And what if the guy I'm talking is a millionaire? And I'm afraid to say like, this is the price, And he's like, dude, like that's nothing for me. So, we just, I think we need to do a better job as a trainers not to assume anything. Just like, hey, this is the price. And they're like, dude, whoa, crazy thing. This is the wildest thing. My program is definitely not cheap, but I haven't heard a single objection, and I talked to a lot of parents in the last, I don't know, a year, maybe one. Sorry, there's one lady that hung up. I told her a price. She's like, tell me the price. I'm like, lady, we gotta go on a Zoom call so I can explain the program. She's like, no, just tell me the price. I'm like, okay, it's this much, and she goes, she said, heck no, and just hangs up on me. I'm like, whoa. So, but that's why you gotta go to procedure. You have a sales call, you have a script, you go through the procedure. Like there's a certain amount of detail you have to go through in order for at the end they're like, dude, this is a great deal. Like all of this for that. So anyway, long answer, but hopefully helps out.
No, I think it's really interesting, and I wanted to ask you about that because I haven't really seen that Zoom call aspect being in addition to that onboarding funnel, whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it a funnel or however. But like for my gym, they have to come to a trial session, and when they click claim trial session, they'll fill out a little survey, and based on their answers, it will feed them into the level they fit in, whether it's our little kids or our middle schoolers or our high schoolers, whatever the case is, and their skill level. And then they book their trial session right away. So I skipped that call, but that really interests me. And do you happen to know off the top of your head, do you have like a before and after of when you implemented that call? Are people more willing to sign up? Do you get less kickback? Or like, what do you feel that call has affected that process? Because I know a lot of trainers, myself included, do not do that Zoom call before they come in.
100%, man. 100%. It's non-negotiable right now. You cannot come to my program if you don't talk.
Yeah.
It's just, you just can't. It's, first of all, there's a lot, when you do this for a while, like you can sense people, parents, kind of what they're going to say. And if somebody says no to a Zoom call, like, okay, if you say no to a Zoom call, well, I still going to try to say, hey, let's go on a Zoom call not because I want to see your face particularly. Of course, it's nice to see each other. It's great. If you didn't have your camera on, it'll feel weird. I just on a black screen, it would be nice. But, I tell them hey, this is a necessary part because they have a better feel. When you see it, you hear it, and you see it, it's different. It's way different. So I mean, I have close rate for the if somebody comes on a Zoom call with me, if they come for the free session, 98% of the time they're signed. So I'm not saying this to be like, whoa, Marko, you're like some guru. It's just that I explain everything on the call. They come, they have the next day discount, boom. So it is really high close rate, but I take my time, man. Some calls lasted an hour and a half, and of course that parent's gonna trust me. Like I'm really close to that family now. So anyway, 100% I will advise anybody, but difference is because you have your own gym, well, your rent is higher. You have electricity bill. I don't have that. I rent a middle school for decent amount of money, and I don't want to work with a lot of players. Like, it's selective. So it's not like, oh, come to me. I need everyone in Colorado to be with me. No, let's have like 60 to 80 players, and now I can have a great life and spend time with my family.
Really cool. Yeah, and especially too that next day discount. If we're talking, business, one, if it's a good fit for the family, like it's a little favor to them, and two, it creates that urgency because I've found at least like the families that have come in for my gym with my system, if they say, oh, we came in for the trial session, we're going to sign up in 3 weeks once so-and-so season's over, they're not coming back. That's why I tell, like, because I'll handle the lead process, and I have a manager here who handles the lead process too. I'm like, the longer the time goes between when they sign the form to get the trial session and then the closing process, the drop-off rate is so much more significant. So, like, people can only book a trial session in my gym 3 days out from that date. Like, because I would find that even if they paid the $10 or if it was free, if they book 3 weeks in advance, they're going to reschedule, like 100% going to reschedule or just no show, regardless of if they paid or not. So that same day discount provides that urgency to where they're not going to go home and of course we're not talking about scamming people here. Like we're doing a good thing for the kid. We're developing them. We know our product is a good service. So trying to do a favor and get them to buy into your program and have that urgency. Don't put it off to where they can go home and this comes up, that comes up. No, they make it work and they are happy that it happened. Right. So that's a little, I don't know if you want to call it trick there, a tip that people can add to their onboarding process, and it's super effective. I mean, even the Zoom call, like you said, super effective. So it's very cool. Another thing that's very valuable that we haven't been able to touch on a ton. How do you manage all of this? So you have your homework. Do you send out to an email list? Do you use CoachIQ's online platform for that? What do you do to manage everything?
I love CoachIQ. I know a lot of people that use CoachIQ. Just FYI, like honestly. And I talked to Russell like a few years ago.
Yeah.
I use website is just Wix, super simple. But I spend a lot of. I like to invest in myself, so I continuously spend money to learn something new. So I can design a website anywhere. It's just like there's some principles that you have to follow, and the website is good. Now for the homework stuff, I use School, so everything is in School. I post their homework, I interact with kids. Every School Live, it's where I do the film breakdowns. So everything that I do online, because my program is hybrid, is through School.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, even so, you may not use CoachIQ's platform, but you do everything that we, teach to trainers and how to transform their business. So there's a lot that trainers can learn. Trainers or coaches, anybody that has their own program can learn from how you handle things. Like we're speaking the same language here. It's like as if we have worked together for years, right? These are very important principles. CoachIQ, we have principles that, not saying non-negotiable, but have led to consistent success over many, many different programs. So, like I said, even though you don't use the platform, the principles are still the exact same as far as coaches improving their programs. we try to tailor it to trainers. You know, I'm not super familiar with school, but the principles are the same nonetheless. But one program on your site that caught my attention, pivoting here, this will be my last question. I know you got about 5 minutes here.
Yeah, you're good. We can go all the way up to 140.
Okay, cool. So one program on my site, or on your site, that caught my attention, the Comeback Season Academy. So I have never seen, and I've thought about this myself, that's specifically for kids who didn't make their team?
Yeah, this is an interesting question because, and this is I like this because there's a lot of times we as people, especially if you own business, you get hard on yourself, like everything is in your hands. Of course, when you have employees, like if you have someone helping you, that's great. I'm by myself, you know, and I got used to that I like being by myself, but I have few assistant coaches that come and help, like kind of like contractors. But for example, for Comeback Season Academy, I thought it's a great idea. It really is a great idea. Like kids that didn't make it, they can come and train for a year and get better. The issue I ran into was I started promoting it. I really started promoting it, and I was like, man, you know what? I already have, because most of my high schoolers make their teams, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing. But there's a few that don't. I already had a group that didn't make. There's like 2 or 3 of them that didn't make, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep talking to parents. I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna put them in that group, and kind of like funnel them there. So I didn't end up like running that big time. I'm always thinking of different ideas, like what can I do? Like, I think that this is totally off topic, but I don't know how many trainers are gonna watch this, but I think one of the best things you can do, if you're a trainer, there's a spring break is coming. I'm gonna run a free camp. It's free camp, and I'm not, again, people can look at it. We only have 5-star reviews. I have testimonials. I mean, there's a bunch of things. Like, we're legit. Zero Dive is legit. A lot of times when people see free, they're like, oh my goodness, who is this, like some random high schooler who wants to be a trainer, right? I think that free clinic could be the best funnel on the earth.
We say the same thing.
If you know how to do it, if you know how to do it, how to set it up after, and literally, yesterday, I was here the same. I go to this library in the study room. I was writing things like what I have to do on Monday, and then I'm gonna start planning that. I'm like, dude, there's like a big list. So it's not just like run a free clinic and like have a good day, Mrs. Jones. Like, no, you're gonna be getting emails from me before the clinic. After the clinic, you're gonna get a special promo, and literally with that clinic, I can be at a full capacity. I'm trying to speak like as it already happened. Who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe the weather is bad. I don't know. But as of now, I think if I do a good job and people really like it, I'm gonna be at a full capacity. Because I think I'm at 8. If I reach 84 players, that will be my income goal for 2026. So I'm like 18 or 20 players away, and that's it. So like, anyway, sorry, I went out of the.
No, that's a great point. I mean, like I said, we push free camps or free or super cheap camps often because it's a easy way to get people in your system. And if you have those systems set up before, get your emails in because their interest is now peaked, right? So if a customer's interest is peaked, you want to take advantage of that. You don't want to just say, hey, come to the camp. Oh, cool, they had a good time. They go home. And then, all right, maybe one will show up because they really liked it. You want to be able to set up. I mean, I would automate it, but you don't even have to automate it. You can make a list for yourself. So send them an email on this, and this. You said the promo, like you said, and just take advantage of a parent having their kid come back home. Like, oh, I absolutely love that. Or the parent stayed and watched, had a great time, and then boom, they get hit with an email. Oh, by the way, here's a promo for you. We do this, and this. They just had an awesome experience, and then they're like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'd love to. Versus 2 weeks going by and they get just like a random newsletter email from you, which, I mean, newsletters are fine and great, but it was like, oh, that was 2 weeks ago, and that initial, talking psychological a lot here, but that initial feeling, like that initial like dopamine of seeing their kids super happy and enjoying it, or them loving that, is gone. So what are the chances of them wanting to get back in. I mean, they probably still would, maybe, but who knows?
Could. You know what my mentor taught me? That was this last year. I didn't run. I broke my. Not go in details, but I broke my ankle in September, which is crazy. I was on a scooter, holding sessions on a scooter, like a knee scooter, and I still had the best year of my life. And December was the best month ever.
December.
Dude, it was. Yeah.
Really?
It's crazy, man. That I feel like one of the best things that trainers can do is learn really like psychology of buying and customers and marketing and of course there's like copywriting. There's so much detail there, but what my mentor told me, because I had the free clinic last March, I hold a free clinic and it was free, man. It was free, 2 hours free, like a great clinic. Kids were like hyped, and it was a good clinic. It was, and even if nobody signed up, well, so what? Had a good clinic, kids had a great experience. They'll remember me for sure. So, my mentor told me, he's like, dude, this is what I want you to do. He's like, well, I was like, after the free clinic, before the clinic, you're gonna text every parent. You're gonna tell them, hey guys, I have a special announcement at the end of the clinic. Please make sure you stay and come 10 minutes at the end of the clinic. So literally, I went, dude, there's like 20, 30 parents. I'm like, hey guys, thank you so much, for bringing your kid. It was great, I hope they had a great experience. Just FYI, tomorrow I'm sending the email with a discount code. So I'm telling them like this, like face to face, I'm speaking in front of everybody. I'm sending you an email tomorrow. I know you guys already got a text, but I want to remind you. I'm sending an email tomorrow, and then parents, literally, you can see kids going, hey mom, like make sure you check that email, and stuff like that. When you tell them, when you're not afraid to speak to them all, they're like, okay, we're gonna check. So that clinic was free, and I ended up making $5K from people that signed up. So that's anyway, not to go into too much of detail, but I'm also really passionate about business side, so I don't want to get like too hyped. But that's just sharing what I learned and what works for me. So definitely, we're literally speaking the same. I mean, we can probably sit down and talk for like 6 hours and it'll feel like it's an hour.
Yeah, if you didn't have a call, this would go much longer. Maybe we'll have to get back on another time.
We can pause and come back to it.
We can just get another episode in.
I know we're gonna get, but yeah, I'm close to the call. I don't know if you have to say whatever you say at the end, but yeah, I wish we could talk longer for sure.
I know, right? We'll cut this part out too, but I'll close this out here so you can get on your call. But yeah, this is good. So, all right, Marko, thank you for coming on. Your journey from Serbia to Colorado. You've built your comprehensive training system. You've been working with those kids who got cut. We preach a lot of the same things. There's a lot here for trainers at any stage, and there's a lot. We talked about a lot of the psychological aspects and marketing aspects, which is one of the most important things, and I feel an area where a lot of trainers, they don't focus on because they're like, oh, my product is going to bring people in, which to an extent, yes, but that stuff is so important. To run a sustainable business, to be able to do this full time, whether you rent out gyms or you have a facility like me, understanding human psychology is one of the biggest tips for business, life, anything. So I think this is an awesome episode that people really need to try to absorb and listen, because that changed my business personally, and of course it sounds like it changed yours as well. So Marko, tell people where they can find you.
Zero.basketball at Instagram, zero.basketball.com, online. I'll say one last thing for the trainers that are listening, is the biggest thing you guys can change for yourself, and before anything else, before you change your memberships, the way you run your business, is the mindset about money. Like, how you perceive money. Is it something that is like evil? Because in the beginning I was like, it's not, man, I just made more money than somebody made in a year, in a month. I was like, how is that fair? How is that fair to that person? And then I heard, I think it was Tony Robbins on the School of Hard Knocks, when he said, we're all equal as souls, but we're not all equal to the market. So like the more value you bring, the more you invest in yourself, and the bigger product you become, and your business becomes more like, again, like a transformational academy, whatever that may be for you, the more you're worth. And first of all, we put a lot of hours and efforts into building businesses, our own businesses. So I'll say the number one thing, if anybody can take from this call, is changing beliefs. Like, yeah, man, I deserve to make this money. Not because like you're anything. I try to stay humble, but I also try to keep myself like, because I'll be hard on myself a lot of times. Like, dude, it's not fair, man. Like, it's not fair that you're doing this and somebody's not. But then, like, in the end, it is. Like, I did spend a lot of time investing in all these things, hustling and all these things. So, trainers, you gotta change the mindset about money. See, like 100K a year, it's not anything. 200, 300, you can get to that point. It's just developing yourself into a better person, better human, and just better like a business owner. So anyway, sorry, blowing your ear. I think that's the biggest thing.
Oh, don't say sorry. You dropped a ton of gems. I'm gonna steal some stuff for you from you personally. Hope you don't mind. But everybody, go follow Marko. We'll put all of his contacts and links in the description if you're in the Colorado area. Try to check out Marko if you can, if you live close. Thanks for listening, Marko. Really appreciate you being on.
Thank you so much, man.
Yep.
You take
all
care.
Right now.
Okay.
Have the rest of your
See
day.
you. Bye.
Bye.